Okay, Zizou, welcome to the Hub on CGTN. It's a big year for China-Arab relations, and you're living this relationship by being a model, I would say, an example. Winning the Mandarin Star, Chinese-speaking competition, like no other people can. The champion of the Chinese speakers from around the world. Which year was it?
I guess, first of all, it's kind of comes from my love to this culture, to this country, to go deeper in discovering how good is it, how beautiful it is. That's why make my decision to start to learning Chinese.
When?
2009 it was, I started with this.
In your early teens?
Yes. I started with my university here in Beijing. So that was the start point actually, because I was very curious about China, about Chinese culture, about Chinese language. So I started from that point. So that was the start point of the journey.
Very good. And this journey took you very long and then took you everywhere pretty much in China. You've been to the Chinese villages, the countryside, and been seeing and experiencing quite a bit of modern day China. How would you make sense of what happened in the past 10 years in China in terms of development, in terms of your life, being a reporter out there in the field and what you see over there?
So I can say, not only big changes, I can say huge changes happening in China in these 10 years. In terms of everything, infrastructure, developing of villages, countryside, and every little detail in China. Huge changes are happening. I can see the changes in people, in your lifestyle, in your income, in everyone's income, not only about cities. And I always saying, if you want to know more about China, don't go to the big cities. You have to go discover deeper in China. You have to go to the villages. You have to know more about China in deep.
What didn't our friends in the Western world, in the Arab world, get right about China? I mean, not that you lived here, but people had certain stereotypes and perceptions watching Arabic TV or watching English language news sources. What they didn't get about China?
How hard it is, or how difficult it is to China to get rid of poverty in 2020. So we are talking about a huge country. We are talking about several villages in different places all over the country. So it is not a small country, and you say we already done with poverty. It was impossible mission, but China did it. So this is very impressive, and I saw that with my own eyes. That's why I can say with my own voice, I saw this, and this is true.
Well, where did you go?
I've been to several villages all over the country, north, east, west, and everywhere. And why I am saying that? Because I saw how they used to live before and how is it now. And when you compare the two models, when you compare the two lifestyle, you found, wow, how did they do that? And it's not only about getting rid of poverty, it's about maintaining this. It's about the sustainability of this model. You're still doing this, so they're still living a good life. And this is the hard point. This is not easy to do.
Especially when you travel the world and looking at a lot of our brother and sister countries whereby people are still struggling with infrastructure at a point where China used to be. China is still trying to perfect its infrastructure, improve its income. We're not perfect, but looking at our friends from around the world, it's not easy for China to get to where it is today.
It is. I've been to more than 20 countries all over the world. I've seen villages in different countries, which I can say developed countries, and I can say, I'm sure of that, the villages in China are developed and improved way more than those countries. So this is impressive.
And then going forward, what are your hopes? What do you hope to do when it comes to playing your role as a cultural ambassador? People who been looking up to you, in the Arab world and as well as here in China. What do you hope to see happening when it comes to China and Arabic people-to-people exchanges?
So in terms of my work, what I'm doing is connecting people from far and different cultures and countries, as in Middle East, as in Egypt. I'm Egyptian, so we are talking about different cultures. We are talking about very far, like on the map, very far countries. But we can find some similarities. We can know more about each other. We can know how is it in the truth, like how is it China, how is it Egypt. So this is our role. This is what we are doing. And I believe a lot of people watching our programs, watching our shows, watching our reports, they get to know China better and way more clear, even like if you watching any other kind of reports. Yes.
What about the information cocoons that's happening on both ends of our world? Here in the Chinese-speaking world, in the Arabic world, people are only used to the information and sources of information that they're used to getting, versus hearing the real voices from the other end and understanding each other's society.
Yeah, so I can say like this is something in the middle between us and the truth, and between us and the real thing. So when you talk about Arab countries, maybe Chinese people, they don't know that much about Egypt nowadays, or the Middle East nowadays. If you're talking about some stereotyping, that happens sometimes. But our work is to do this. Like, how is it right now? So about China, if we talk like in Egypt, in Middle East, we heard about like China development. We heard about China getting rid of poverty. We heard about what China is doing now. It's a great job, or anyway, but no one knows the process. No one knows the details. So it is very important to tell them how that happened and how hard was that to happen. Yes.
We definitely need to learn from each other, and today is a great example, I think, for China to learn a bit about the Emirati culture and the Pan-Arabic culture.
That's right. And I can say like Emirates actually is a very good example for relationships between Arab countries and China. So we can see like it's different kind of exchanges, not only diplomatic exchanges, we can say cultural exchanges. We can say a lot of like in infrastructure, in every single field, we can find some fingerprints, or we can find some work of the exchange between two countries. This is very good.
Zizou, keep up the great work. Thank you so much. And that will do it for this edition of The Hub on CGTN. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Wang Guan at an event celebrating the 40th anniversary of China-UAE diplomatic relations. I'll see you again next time.